Hi guys, it's me. Welcome to another week of comparing and contrasting the adventures of characters in our texts. So the first week we compared and contrasted the adventures of Clifford. And last week we compared and contrasted the adventures of Piggy and Elephant. Wasn't that fun? And this week we are going to be comparing and contrasting the adventures of one of my favorites, Franklin the Turtle and his friends. Excuse me. And today's book is Franklin's Reading Club. I wonder what that's about. Remember that our pictures tell the story. So since today is the first day, we won't have anything to compare or contrast it to. So you can be thinking about how you can compare Franklin's adventure to the adventures of Clifford and Piggy and Elephant as well, until tomorrow's book when we have two Franklin books to compare and contrast. So our lesson frame is we will compare and contrast the adventures of characters in familiar texts. And your I will is or you, what you're going to do is compare and contrast the adventures of characters in familiar texts. Also, you are going to be thinking about the story that the picture tells as I read the story. Okay. Franklin's Reading Club. One day, Beaver said, "Guess what? There's a new Dynaroo book." "What's it called?" asked Franklin. "Dynaroo and the Monster," said Beaver. "Ooh," said everyone. "It will be in the stores tomorrow," said Beaver. Everyone agreed to meet at Mr. Heron's bookstore. "Let's go first thing in the morning," said Franklin. "And let's wear our Dynaroo capes." But first thing in the morning was too late. "I'm all sold out of Dynaroo and the Monster," said Mr. Heron. "But we really wanted that book," said Franklin. "So did everyone else," said Mr. Heron. So let's look at this picture and see if it's telling a story. What can you tell from this picture? Just then, Franklin saw Mr. Mole. He had a copy of Dynaroo and the Monster. "Where did you get that book?" asked Franklin. "At the toy shop," said Mr. Mole. "It's for my grandson." "To the toy shop!" shouted Franklin. Franklin and his friends ran down the street. They ran around the corner. They ran up the next street. They ran and ran until they got to the toy shop. There was a sign in the window. It said, "All sold out of Dynaroo and the Monster." Everyone groaned. Groaned means make an angry noise or frustrated. Just then, Franklin saw Mrs. Muskrat. She had a copy of Dynaroo and the Monster. "Where did you get that?" asked Franklin. "At the library," said Mrs. Muskrat. "It's for my grandson." "To the library!" Franklin shouted. Franklin and friends ran up the street. They ran around the corner. They ran down the next street. They ran and ran until they got to the library. "Mrs. Muskrat borrowed my last copy of Dynaroo and the Monster." Everyone groaned. Franklin pulled off his Dynaroo cape. "I'm going home," he said. "Me too," said everyone else. When Franklin got home, his granny was there. "Look what I bought my grandson," she said. She held up Dynaroo and the Monster. "Wow," said Franklin. "Thank you, Granny." Franklin put on his Dynaroo cape. He opened his book and read page 1. The phone rang. It was Bear. "Do you want to play?" asked Bear. No, said Franklin. My granny gave me Dinaroo and the Monster. Wow, said Bear. Can I read it after you? Yes, said Franklin. He sat down and read page 2. There was a knock at the door. All of Franklin's friends were outside. Are you finished with Dinaroo and the Monster yet? Asked Fox. Can I have it now? Asked Bear. What's taking you so long? Asked Beaver. How can I read if you won't leave me alone? Franklin said. He closed the door and he sat down. Franklin read page 3. He looked up. His friends were watching him. Through the window, Franklin looked down. He read page 4. I can't stand it, shouted Beaver. You are a slow reader. Franklin pulled the curtains. Franklin read page 5 and laughed. He got up and went outside. Guess what happens on page 5, he said. Don't tell, everyone shouted. You'll ruin the story, said Beaver. Franklin went back inside. He could hear his friends playing outside. He opened the door. Are you finished? Asked Beaver. No, said Franklin. I'm not finished. I'll never finish with you bothering me, so please come in and sit down. Everyone went in and sat down. What's going on? Asked Beaver. Welcome to Franklin's Reading Club, said Franklin. I will read Dinaroo and the Monster out loud. Hooray! Said everyone. Chapter 1, began Franklin. The monster says boo. Ooh, said everyone. And then no one made another sound until Franklin said, the end. All right. Isn't that good? All right. So, Franklin and his friends had an adventure with a story. Have you ever had something similar happen where you wanted a new book or a new toy and it wasn't available? I found some things that reminded me of with some of the stuff we're going through right now. So some of us are looking for hand sanitizer and toilet paper, and we just can't find it. It's unavailable, right? We have to wait and be patient. It's really hard. So your assignment for this story, you have some choices. You can draw a picture, or both, or make a video, or all three, explaining and comparing and contrasting the story of Franklin and how it is the same or different as the Clifford stories and the Piggy and Elephant. I can tell you one way that they're all the same is they're a fiction. A way that they're all different is the characters are different, and even the setting was different, right? Another part of this is, if you like, you can write or videotape or draw a picture and explain, if you had a reading club, what books would you want to read in your reading club? What friends would you invite to your reading club? I can't wait to see what your ideas are. Have a great day. Bye.